What's up, Tesla family? It's Ray J back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, and the broader markets. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. So the markets are seeing a slight decline, which is what we were talking about earlier. There's a lot of chop right now for SPY and the QQQ, but overall the trend is a little bit more bearish as we're getting very close to that 678 support on SPY. Overall, though, there's lots of chop right now, so there's not really a whole lot going on. But Tesla, on the other hand, has been a little bit more weak. Tesla's currently down 2.5% with the negative news I talked about from the morning, with a lot of their very, very key project managers basically leaving the company. And also because of the Chinese sales that declined, at least for the month of October. So all those pieces of news caused Tesla to sell off a bit. We came back down to the lows we saw from yesterday, and we're watching this 432 support to see if Tesla could hold this or not. If we don't hold 432, we could be tipping closer to about 428. We also have resistance to watch for right over here around 437. If Tesla could reclaim that area, we're looking for a nice bounce. Otherwise, there's a little bit of weakness right now. Now, despite this, there is a lot of news that's coming out from Elon Musk. Elon Musk has been talking about Tesla's next big leap as Tesla's working on developing their own Terafab AI manufacturing plant. This is going to be very important for their AI ambitions and for Tesla to take control of their overall AI hardware. That's what they've been talking about, at least so far, when it comes to their chip designs, production, and many other mechanisms. And this is what Tesla's been working on, at least slowly for now. So that's something that Elon Musk has put, at least on his X page. He's been talking about how that's been their long term strategy. And they want to slowly develop their AI technology themselves and become more independent. On top of this, Elon Musk also talked about how the Optimus robot could help to once again reduce crime because it could follow people around and once again incentivize them to stop doing crime. That's what he's saying so far. He also talked about how it's going to be a very useful tool to assist people in a lot of different ways, and that could also help them to once again abide by the laws and do other things like that. That's at least what Elon Musk was talking about. So he gave some examples about that. And then Elon Musk also said some important things on his X page. He talked about how there's going to be a new Tesla Megapack factory in Houston, Texas. Tesla's hiring for $200 million the mega factory outside of Houston. This is going to help to bring a clean energy muscle to Texas, and they're hiring like crazy, according to Elon Musk. That's a very important piece of news that came out from him. On top of that, Tesla also posted this, and Elon Musk reposted this post that the Model 3 and Model Y battery packs retain 85% of their capacity on average after 200,000 miles of driving. They also offer an 8 years or 120,000 mile battery warranty, whichever comes first. So that's something that Elon Musk has been reposting. This is another advertisement I think that Tesla has posted to show how effective their battery packs happen to be and how they maintain the majority of their capacities. That's a great piece of news as well. And finally, Elon Musk put this on his X page. He said Tesla, and we're talking about the Model Y and Model 3s, which are officially the world's first and second best selling EVs for September. The Model Y had 141,000 units sold, and the Model 3 had about 67,000 units, putting us at over 200,000 units sold between the two top models, at least so far. So even though Tesla's getting criticism for their sales and this and that, there is truth behind it in a way because we did see some declines in China and some of Europe, at least for the month of October. But at the same time, despite that, you have to also consider that the Model Y and Model 3s are very popular and they're some of the top selling EVs on the planet, and that there is still a lot of potential for Tesla to see their sales increase as many, many months and years progress. So overall, I still have lots of faith in Tesla, and Elon Musk is being very honest about that. I think that Tesla has a lot of growth potential with their AI ventures and their sales potential for the longer term. For the short term, there are going to be some fluctuations here and there, especially because of the high interest rate environment that we are in. But as time goes on, I still think that there is a lot of potential for Tesla. With that being said, what do I see for the broader markets? Well, looking at Tesla stock, there's some weakness right here. We're testing 432, and unless we get back above 437 or so, we're still favoring the downwards direction. There's still some weakness, so we could be revisiting this low. If that doesn't hold, we could be dipping all the way down towards 428 next. So be very careful with Tesla. The 30 minutes time frame is looking more bearish, and going to the 4 hour time frame right here, we're also showing some weakness on Tesla. There's still some downside risk. And then the overall trend has been showing a downtrend. We keep on making lower highs and lower lows. So we may continue to fall all over again. Despite that, SPY is looking a little bit more bearish, but it's also flat at the same time, meaning that there's a lot of chop right now. We've been chopping pretty much the entire day near 679, but there is a risk of us testing 678 because the trend is a bit more bearish. So we're choppy with the slight downwards direction right now. So keep that in mind. Same thing with the QQQ. We're actually showing a bit more weakness on the QQQ being led by semiconductors. We're testing support most likely at 617 very soon. We're going to see if this holds. If not, we're going to be eyeing this left shoulder, head and right shoulder that could be forming. And there is a risk of the QQQ dipping to 612 very soon, in my opinion. On the IWM, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We could be retesting 242. Although it's not that bad, there is still some downside risk. On ES, there's some weakness here. We're going to see if we could get back above 68.60. If not, I do see a risk of us testing 6,800 flats or below very soon. NQ is also dipping right here. We have a head and shoulders like pattern. We need to get back above 25,600 to bounce. If we don't, I could see us revisiting this support over here around 25,400 or below, then eventually fill the gap to 25,200 for some downside risk. Looking at Bitcoin, we're on a bit of a downtrend. We may continue to downtrend back down to 102,000. Tesla's also on a bit of a downtrend, and there's going to be a risk of us dipping back down towards this 430 area. So, like I said before, be very careful. On Nvidia, we're also on a downtrend. There's a head and shoulders right here, and we could be dipping back down towards this gap fill. There is a risk of us dipping to 188 on Nvidia, especially after the news that came out involving SoftBank. Apple, however, is showing some strength. I think we just got some good news, and overall, there is a chance it tries to go for 275 or above. For other tickers, we have Palantir. This is showing some weaknesses, could be declining to about 187. And then if that fails us, there is a gap to fill, taking us down towards 178, I believe. So there is some downside risk. Sorry, not 178, 180 could be tested if this continues to decline. AMD is showing a weakness. We're coming down to fill this gap. We could be looking for 235 very soon. Coinbase is on a downtrend. It could be looking for essentially 308. Um, Amazon also has kind of like a double top rejection. We're looking for essentially 247. If it doesn't hold, it may continue to decline for 245 very soon. Meta is also on a slight downtrend. We also have an inverse head and shoulders forming, but we could be revisiting like 618 or below. On Google, we might be retesting essentially 288. If that fails us, we could be dipping to about 286. And then Microsoft could be dipping back down towards that 500 area. If that fails us, we're looking for essentially 497. And finally, the VIX, we're going to see if this bounces a bit, especially as we have a gap to fill at 19. There might be a temporary bounce, but overall, I still think that just could be temporary, and that the market, even if we do consolidate right here, there is still some downside for the shorter term, and that could also drag Tesla a bit lower. But ultimately, there's going to be a bigger bounce later on, especially as we approach the end of the year. This is just a temporary move down in the markets that I'm essentially eyeing. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. We're getting some good news from Elon Musk, but it's not really enough to get the share price to bounce. Tesla stock is still showing some temporary weakness, and we'll see if we bounce later on. But for now, I do see us likely dipping a bit more, so keep that in mind. Thank you for listening, and peace out.